Welcome to AfriList KE, where we do all list African. Today we have a dishonorable list of the most gruesome serial killers in Africa. Starting off our list, Stephen Ankimurule, a Nigerian immigrant living in the UK, was arrested for murders he committed between the year 1995 and 98. He, however, committed suicide in prison before he could stand trial. He is accused of killing 5 elderly residents of Blackpool, UK. In his suicide note, Stephen claimed he was tormented by thoughts of murder and he had to kill himself in order to prevent him from killing again. Is Richard Arinaitwe. He is currently serving a life sentence in a Ugandan maximum prison. He was arrested for the gruesome murder of an American lady volunteer in a local hotel in Kampala. He murdered the lady by stabbing her 30 times with his jackknife. He was busted by the cops after he got arrested for a robbery at the same hotel, and his knife was linked to the sheath that he accidentally left in the American woman's room. Kenyan George Otieno Okoth is a self-proclaimed serial killer who was arrested for the murder of a lady at a Kisii hotel. He was later linked to murders of several taxi operators in a nearby Kericho town when their decomposing bodies were found in shallow graves next to his mother's homestead. During his trial, he smiled as his charges were read and begged the judge for the death sentence as that was sufficient punishment for his deeds. Sifu Thwala, better known as the Phoenix Strangler, went on his murder spree between 96 and 97 in Phoenix area, KwaZulu-Natal. He was arrested for the murder and rape of over 25 women aged between 20 and 30. He would lure women into sugarcane fields, claiming that he would get them jobs. He would then proceed to rape and strangle his victims with their undergarments, bury them in shallow graves, and at times he would burn down the sugarcane fields to destroy evidence. He was arrested when DNA found on one of his victims was matched to DNA taken from him in an earlier arrest for rape. Iloni brothers, Mika, Stefano, and Fabian were 3 Zambian brothers who went on a crime spree from 2007. According to one of their wives, the trio were money crazed and sought the help of a sorcerer. After they failed to fulfill the specialist commands, they were cast, and this caused them to go on a killing spree. They officially killed 12 victims and were gunned down by a special arm of the Zambian army known as the Commandos. Sithole is currently serving a 2,410-year sentence in Seamax Prison, Pretoria, South Africa. His murders were dubbed ABC murders after the towns in which he committed the murders. All of his victims were ladies seeking employment in his fictitious charity organization. He would lure them into the field, overpower them, rape and murder them. By 1995, he had claimed 30 victims, causing nationwide panic. Sithole was captured after making several calls to journalists and his brother-in-law. Moses was sentenced for 38 murders, but he claimed to have murdered at least 76 victims. In 2007 and 2012, the village of Thololeni lived in fear because of Bulelani Mabai. He caused havoc in the village, primarily targeting houses where there were no men, attacking vulnerable women and children. His MO was either by stabbing victims with a bush knife or beating them with an axe. All men in the village were rounded up to give DNA samples, but this did not deter Bulelani, as he continued his killings for 13 months until he finally left his shoe in one of the crime scenes, which led to his capture. He is serving 12 life sentences for 20 murders. Villagers in the Thololeni still live in fear as they believe Bulelani did not work on his own. Philip Onyancha, better known as the Kenyan Vampire, was arrested after a woman's remains were recovered from a sewer where he had worked as a guard. He claims to have killed 17 people, mostly female and children. He preyed on female prostitutes by luring them into rooms, attacked, strangled, and then proceeded to drink their blood. Onyancha claims that his killings were cultic and that he still had 83 more killings to fulfill his calling. His case is currently pending in Kenyan courts. Sur al-Turbini was born in 1980. He ran away from home as a child and joined a gang of misfits in Cairo. He later ventured off and started his own gang that would abduct, rape, and kill other street children. He would fling his victim off the carriage roofs of the express train after performing heinous acts on them. 2 of his gangmates were arrested, leading to his arrest. He was sentenced to death after claiming to have killed at least 30 street children. Opus Cedric Maake was known as the Wemapan Killer and the Hammer Killer, as the police did not know that it was one and the same person. Wemapan Killer would bludgeon lone men, women, or couples with rocks and rape the women. The Hammer Killer's MO was hammering tailors in their shops to death. Cedric was arrested for Wemapan killings in 1997, and he cooperated with the police officers, leading them to numerous crime scenes. It was when he led the police to a pawn shop that they realized that he was the same person. He was convicted for 27 murders, 26 attempted murders, 14 rapes, 41 aggravated robberies. He was sentenced to 27 life sentences plus 1,159 years and 3 months imprisonment.